The sound cracked across the federal courthouse marble like thunder before a storm. Dr. Monica James stumbled forward, her credentials scattering across the polished floor like forgotten confetti. Officer Derek Paulson loomed above her, jaw clenched, contempt burning in his eyes. "Get those forged documents out of my courthouse," he snarled, his badge catching the fluorescent light. The lobby froze. Every conversation stopped. Every camera phone came out. Monica straightened her spine slowly, deliberately, pressing her fingers against her burning cheek. Her eyes found his nameplate, reading it letter by letter as if engraving it into her memory. "Officer Paulson," she said quietly, her voice steady despite the tremor underneath. "This won't be forgotten." She gathered her papers with grace, ignoring the gawking crowd, her footsteps echoing with purpose as she walked away. That moment wasn't her breaking point. It was her awakening. 3 weeks later, the federal courthouse buzzed with anticipation. James versus Paulson had drawn national attention. News vans lined the streets. Journalists clutched their cameras, ready to catch every detail of the case that had captured America's attention. Inside the courtroom, the tension hung thick as humidity. Officer Paulson sat smugly at the defense table beside his attorney, Vincent Cross, a sharp-dressed lawyer with a reputation for winning impossible cases. Across the aisle, Monica sat alone, representing herself, her notebook filled with meticulous notes, her demeanor unshakable. When Paulson took the stand, he performed flawlessly. His voice carried regret he didn't feel. "Look, I was conducting standard security procedures," he explained to the jury, angling himself toward their sympathetic faces. She became aggressive, started demanding access to restricted sections. "I genuinely believed she posed a threat to courthouse safety." He paused, letting his concerns settle over the room like a heavy blanket. "I've worked this post for 15 years. I take my responsibility seriously. Standard protocol, nothing more." Cross then presented a carefully edited body camera recording. The footage began seconds after the slap, showing only Monica's raised voice and aggressive gestures. The jury watched with growing skepticism toward her case. Fellow officers testified to Paulson's stellar reputation, his patience, his professionalism. The narrative was being written, and Paulson was authoring his own redemption story. When Monica stood to testify, something shifted in the courtroom's energy. She carried herself with unmistakable authority. Cross saw the jury's attention drift toward her, and he moved quickly to discredit her. "Dr. James," he said, emphasizing her title with theatrical condescension, "you claim to be a victim, but isn't it true you've challenged law enforcement protocols before?" "Not challenged," she replied evenly. "I've studied departmental procedures extensively through my professional work." Cross leaned forward with a predatory smile. "And what exactly is your profession, Doctor?" "I consult on institutional accountability and police administration," Monica answered without hesitation. Her voice didn't waver. Cross smirked. "So, you're one of those people trying to tear down law enforcement. Perhaps I'm someone trying to improve it," she countered, a faint smile playing at her lips. She glanced at her phone. "Actually, my next appointment is quite relevant to this proceeding. It should be arriving very soon." Paulson exchanged worried glances with his lawyer. Cross pressed harder. "This entire lawsuit is politically motivated, isn't it?" Monica's expression cooled like metal in winter. "It's about accountability. And, counselor, I suspect your strategy is about to become significantly less effective." Her phone buzzed. She read the message and straightened in her seat. "Your Honor, with permission, I believe my 2 o'clock visitor will provide valuable context to these proceedings." The judge frowned, confused but curious. "Granted." The courtroom doors swung open with decisive force. The sound of military precision footsteps echoed across the floor. Superintendent James Mitchell entered in full ceremonial dress, flanked by 2 aides carrying official documentation. The judge's eyes widened. "Superintendent Mitchell, this is most unusual." Mitchell approached the bench with controlled authority. "Your Honor, I apologize for the intrusion. but the department has just concluded its investigation into this matter. His gaze locked onto Paulson, whose face had gone paper white. I need to present findings relevant to this case. Cross jumped to his feet. This is a complete violation of protocol and procedure. The judge silenced him with a raised hand. Continue, Superintendent. Mitchell placed a heavy file on the evidence table with deliberate care. Officer Paulson's conduct on the date in question was not an isolated incident, he announced, his voice carrying the weight of institutional authority. Our investigation has uncovered 7 prior complaints of misconduct that were never properly documented. 7. The number hung in the air like an accusation. Monica remained motionless, her expression revealing nothing of the carefully orchestrated pieces falling into place. Paulson's hands trembled visibly. "This is entrapment," he whispered desperately to Cross. "She set this up somehow." Monica turned to face him directly. "I simply prepared thoroughly, officer. Everything I did was within the law." The superintendent continued. "Dr. James's actions today served to expedite an investigation that should have happened years ago. In light of these findings and her demonstrated expertise in departmental reform, I have an announcement." He gestured to Monica. "Dr. Monica James has been appointed as the new Superintendent of Police, effective immediately." The courtroom erupted like a volcano. Reporters shouted, jury members gasped in disbelief, Cross's face drained of colour. But Paulson looked as if someone had pulled the ground from beneath him. Monica stood slowly, methodically, every movement deliberate and powerful. She reached up and unzipped her jacket. Beneath it was a dress uniform, crisp and commanding, midnight blue with silver insignia. 3 superintendent stars gleamed on each shoulder. Commendations covered her chest like evidence of a life spent fighting for justice. Superintendent Mitchell addressed the court. "Dr. Monica James is now the commanding officer of this entire police department, effective as of 6 this morning. She has full authority over all personnel and operations." His eyes found Paulson. "That includes Officer Paulson and all decisions regarding his employment status." Paulson gripped the table to steady himself, his breathing shallow and panicked. Monica turned to face him, and in that moment he truly saw her for the first time, not as the woman he'd dismissed, not as the victim he'd mocked, but as the person who would now determine his future. "You struck your commanding officer," she said, her voice cutting like steel. "You lied under oath. You became part of a pattern of institutional failure." The power reversal was so complete it seemed to alter the room's physics. Paulson was no longer the authority figure. He was the accused, facing his new chief in federal court, exposed and helpless. "Effective immediately, you are suspended without pay pending the conclusion of this trial and a comprehensive audit of your entire service record," Monica continued, her professional authority absolute. The woman he had assaulted and judged was now his superior officer, and justice was about to be served in the most poetic way imaginable. Watch this incredible true story unfold and see how justice truly served itself. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories of courage and accountability that will leave you inspired. Hit that notification bell and don't miss the full story of how one woman turned humiliation into transformation.